Hi, Kathy. Nice to meet you.
Hello, nice to meet you too.
To start us off, could you please introduce yourself to us a little bit?
Okay, my name is Cathy. I am a junior in Texas, United States, and I joined CCIR last summer, the summer of 2023, and I was in the course of racial literature by Professor Yaki.
Okay, awesome. So, racial literature, future scholar, and it was last summer.
Yes.
Yeah, and so tell us a little bit about, what your thought process was when you were, I don't know if you remember because it was probably more than a year ago, but when you were applying to the program and why it is that you chose this specific course.
Yeah, so throughout high school, I have always been very interested in like critical race theory, and especially like during the summer when I was coming to my junior year, I want to do some original academic research. And so therefore I was looking for some opportunity online and seeing like any potential courses or programs I can conduct research under. And CCIR specifically stand out for me because it has like really professional like connections we can build with professors, and it has like a specific courses that really matches our interests.
Great. And so, taking the interest in critical race theory a step further, how did the course turn out for you? What was it like for you to, be in this course?
Yeah, the course was very enjoyable because it was during the summer and our course kind of started a few weeks later. We had like some 2 hour sessions instead of like weekly 1 hour sessions. So I think usually the scholar program would be like 14 weeks, but for us it was like 12 to 13 weeks, I believe. And each week we would have like 1 to 2 hours of lecturing and researching with the professor. And in my class specifically, there were usually like 3 to 4 kids, including myself. And in addition to that, we'll also have 1 hour of like meeting with our TA, and she will be also be there to just answer any questions or give me any like guidelines that we need.
So it really is such a small, intimate environment for you because it was only sometimes even three students, including you and the professor. Um, and so tell us a little bit about, whether or not you were able to learn exactly what you were, expecting to learn, or whether the professors also helped you maybe expand your knowledge in critical race theory in a lot of other different areas as well.
Yeah, so I think I think learning this course, despite having like numerous experiences with critical theory beforehand, I still learned a lot more because in the class, a lot of things that we do with like the professor is that we will like read some literature that I usually don't have like experiences reading as a high school student, and we will have like some really like deep and engaging analysis and discussions about them. So I think that's definitely really helpful, and that actually wasn't something I expected before coming to this course because I really thought all the sessions would be lecture based. But if you do actually take the course, the all the like sessions you do have with the professor, they can actually be very like engaging and active, and you are really part of the participant yourself.
Yeah, so that really, brings you into the college atmosphere rather than it being the high school style where it would have been mostly lecture. And so, how were you able to, narrow down the field or just, the articles that the professors were giving to you, the readings, eventually narrowing it down into one research topic? And what eventually did you write about?
Yeah, so my research paper was about the geopolitical atmosphere between the US, United States, and China, and how that influences like the literature produced in America by like Chinese American authors. Um, I think I narrowed down my research topic like 2 to 3 weeks after entering the course. Partly it's because I've always had an interest about like Asian American literature in America, especially the ones by Chinese, because I am from China myself. But additionally, like the professor also like helped me a lot, like to narrow down what specific research I want to do.
Yeah, so it sounds like you came into it already with not only the interest in critical race theory, but you were interested in Asian American authors. And so you had that kind of direction, and the professors were able to help you push that even further. And so, how I know that you said that the course duration was shortened from 14 to 12 to 13 weeks, even though the overall hours was the same. So did that really impact, the amount of work that you had to put in each week? Like, was it very intense for you, or was it still manageable?
It was still manageable for me at the time because it was summer and I had like a lot more free time than I would during like a school year. But I think also since the weeks were like sorry, I think that also because the content were like condensed a little bit, the professor also gave us some like extra like attention or help, so that also help us like keeping up with the schedule.
Definitely. And so, with the eventual actual writing of your paper, were you able to get also support from the professor TA? And did you ever use the writing center at the academy?
Um, Personally, I didn't use too much of the Writing Center Academy. I mostly just got my feedback from the professor and the TA, and and they would allow us to like contact them after like the session each week, and we can like still like talk about our writings over emails, and they would send us literatures and feedbacks through that way.
So it was a continuous process that, they were welcome to you reaching out to them in between classes and also maybe after the 14-week or 12 to 13-week mark for you. So did you actually get to showcase your paper in any way? Have anybody outside of the academy eventually get to read your paper?
Yeah, so I'm planning to also submitting my paper to the CCIR, the summer session with the biggest proposed. And outside of that, I did try to submit my paper to like several journals, and I'm just still waiting for the news.
Yeah, that's so exciting. I hope you hear back. I know that that's also a long process because once you submit to journals, they might also email you back with stuff that they want you to change. So it's just a continuous editing process. And I guess I would also encourage you to, continue reaching out to the CCIR writing team itself because they are really open to helping you, like even after the formal program ends. Great. Is there any last thing that, I didn't get to ask you about, but you think you would love to share, maybe with the students who are looking to apply or are in the program that you think, is wisdom that you've gained through your experience from the program?
Oh, yeah. So for students, especially if they're applying to the future scholars, in which they will be like into a small class session, I think what really benefited me personally is not only the really like the guidelines and feedback from the professor and TA, but also the atmosphere and the connections I made with my classmates. Like with like
Mm.
some of my classmates, we are still keeping in touch until this day. And during the session and after the session, we often offer to help each other to edit our paper and even reading like other things we have produced.
Yeah, that's so important. I think actually so many of the students that we interview tell us about how it's important to, utilize your resources, talk to the professor and the TA. But I think you bring up such a good point, right? Like there's a reason why the students are admitted, and it's all because you guys are, fiercely intellectually curious and very good at, your work ethic and putting into, the project, however many hours and the dedication, the curiosity, all that stuff. So, in order to really function or even succeed as a young scholar, you need your peers, right? And so, really establishing that network. And also, the additional point to that is in high school, maybe there's these niche interests that you have that people in high school don't share. And so sometimes it gets really lonely, right? And then you're like, are there people out there that care about what I care about? So when you're in a course like this, like clearly the people who, are in class with you do care about what you care about. So then you start formulating those kinds of discussions that eventually end up, just pushing your career even, a couple steps ahead more than your like the regular high school years. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much. Is there any
So does CCR did CCR produce like any like new programs or any any new sessions for students compared to like last year?
Yeah, wow, that's such a good question. So, we still only have the traditional two options, which is the Future Scholar option and the one-on-one, but we are hosting the 2024 writing workshop. If you go on the website, and this is a plug for whoever is watching, there is a tab on there that's called the Rethink CCIR 2024 writing competition. And so this competition is also hosted on a global basis. And there's professors from the Ivy League schools as well as Oxford, Cambridge, asking students to reflect on questions across a variety of disciplines. And so winners of that competition, and you can find more information on the website as well, but we're looking at 10 winners for the global play, gold place, 10 winners for the silver, and then 10 winners for the bronze. And then we also have, for students who don't make the top three positions, we get 10% of those students that we give an honorable mention. And then we have three special prizes, and the details are on our website. But the winners of that competition, the deadline is going to be, I believe, May 10th for submission, May 10th of this year. And then the results will be announced June 25th. And then on July 10th, we're hosting an award dinner at Oxford University. And so it'll be hosted at the King's College. And we have this is so exciting, actually. We have Nobel Prize winners who are going to be joining us either virtually or in person, delivering talks, but also joining students at the dinner. So it'll be a wonderful chance if you're interested in, looking over the prompts and maybe submitting a piece that demonstrates, your opinion. And if you're, eventually invited to the dinner, you'll get to meet more professors and even these Nobel Prize winners. And not only, share the food, but also share whatever, that is interesting to you intellectually. So I encourage you and whoever else is watching this video to really look into that competition.
That sounds very interesting. I will look into it.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for joining us today, Kathy, and good luck with your whole publishing process. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much and have a nice day.